My name is Lwanda Sindaphi, Artistic Director at Lingua Franca. So before we start, before we begin, before we commence, can we please stand up and have a moment of silence for what is happening in the country now, and just acknowledge all the people that we have lost. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm being sexy, babe.
Yes, you are.
When I say in zinc, you say poetry. In zinc,
Poetry.
in zinc,
Poetry.
When I say in zinc, you say poetry. In zinc,
Poetry.
in zinc,
Poetry.
When I say in zinc, you say poetry. In zinc,
Poetry.
in zinc,
Poetry.
Shout out to in zinc poetry. I think this is uncomfortable. Shout out to Inzing, they've been holding it down for the past 3 years. They used to do this show, close the festival with a banger. So let's give Inzing a round of applause. We are Lingua Franca spoken word movement, and we've been given the honor this year to close the festival. So give us a round of applause. Yes, my name is Mbongeni Nomkonwana, and I'll be your host.
Yes.
I'm MC Cuties today. That's Faye. All right. So this is called the Naked Word Poetry Sessions. So when I say naked word, you say poetry. Naked word.
Poetry.
Naked word.
Poetry.
When I say naked word, you say poetry. Naked word.
Poetry.
Naked word.
Poetry.
When I say naked word, you say poetry. Naked word.
Poetry.
Do the things. Do the things. When I say naked word, you say poetry. Naked word.
Poetry.
Naked word. Naked word. Nene. Yabo siatiriva. Okay. When I say naked word, you say poetry. Naked word.
Poetry.
Naked word.
Poetry.
When I say naked word, you say poetry. Give yourselves a round of applause. All right. Now I assume my performance duties. All right, so we're going to open with a song, and then we've got some amazing poetry coming from all the way the Netherlands, America, South Africa, and Delft. It's weird. We have been singing Clip and we're like, the heart is dancing, but the body refuses. Are you ready for some poetry?
Yes.
Are you ready for some poetry?
Yes.
I'm not gonna waste your time. Please, from all the way from Netherlands, please welcome Radna Fabias.
Exorcisme. Ik sla hem, herhaaldelijk, ritmisch met twijgjes op de rug zodra hij terug is. Ik zorg dat de kamer waarin ik dat doe naar gekneusde rozen en kutvocht ruikt. Hij zal zeggen dat hij iets kwijt is, dat iets hem heeft verlaten. Hij zal mij verdenken. Hoe durft hij? Ik vergeef hem. Ik nurrie een wiegelied en loof hem. Hij is herboren. Ik zoek om hem heen naar waar ooit lichaam was. Ik streel wat verloren ging met mijn vingertoppen. Dit is mijn man, zuster. Na voorarrest weder opgestaan, weer gestruikeld, weer gezeten en opnieuw herrezen. Ik sla een kruis voor hem en noem hem Christus. Ik was zorgvuldig het gezoem van onvrijheid uit zijn oren, zodat het geluid van mijn sleutelbos hem geen doodsangst meer inboezemt. Ik prijs hem. Ik zorg ervoor dat hij ligt terwijl ik dit doe. Ik zorg ervoor dat ik kniel als ik dit doe. Ik schrob zijn polsen. Ik spreek tegen zijn longen over zuurstof. Ik verplaats alle meubelen voor zijn comfort. De gordijnen mogen nooit meer dicht. Hij moet alle ramen kunnen zien en ik moet doorzichtig worden, zodat hij ook door mij heen kan kijken. Ik vertel hem dat claustrofobie een leugen is. Ik houd hem tegen als hij 's nachts naar buiten wil. Ik houd zijn voeten vast. Ik bezweer de suïcidale tendensen met mijn boezem, mijn scheuren. Ik ben zijn kuil. Ik bestrooi zijn lichaam met bruine suiker en bid dat hij zoet wordt. Ik strooi op het bed, op hem, op zijn gedachten. Zelfgeplukte halfdode veldbloemen, confetti voor de zieke en zijn doodsangst. Ik poets de schuld van zijn buik. Ik doe dit grondig. Ik neem wat huid mee, die groeit terug. Ik zeg, rustig maar, als ik bedoel, ik weet niet waarom ik hier nog ben. Ik vergelijk mezelf nooit meer met de wind. Ik stort me op hem als een waterval. Ik vertel hem dat het verdriet in mijn buik was gaan zitten. Ik moest me wassen, wassen, wassen. Ik laat hem zien hoe het niet hielp. Ik toon mijn nieuwe jukbeenderen, sleutelbeen, de heupbotten. Zo had ik mezelf nog nooit gezien. Ik zeg, ik ben door jou, voor jou gekrompen. Ik draag geen blaam in mijn stem. Ik verstop zijn schuld achter mijn ogen waar niemand komt. Ik verstop daar ook de vragen. Je weet wel, hoe nu verder, of liefde reductie is. Hoe klein een vrouw kan worden. Ik laat zijn 12 straatnamen in 2 rechte lijnen van mijn borstel naar mijn enkels tatoeëren. Ik zeg, hiermee zet ik mezelf op slot. Ik was hem tot hij slaapt. Ik gebruik speeksel als het water op is. Ik negeer de stank. Dit is mijn man, zuster. Dit is geen graf. Als hij slaapt, als hij tenslotte slaapt, nestel ik me in zijn torso, zodat hij zijn rib niet meer mist. Roestplaats. Onderweg naar de roestplaats bewater en bemest ik 1 vierkante kilometer rood-bruine aarde. Het is een altruïstische investering. Ik maak het mogelijk voor een ander om wortel te schieten, uit te dijen, het ecosysteem te verstoren. Dan was ik mijn handen lang en grondig. Ik trek de afdrukken van mijn vingers. Voorzichtig. Ik ben voorzichtig. Ik knip mijn haar omdat ik een slachtoffer ben. Ik verf mijn haar omdat ik een schurk ben. Ik kweek een snor voor bij mijn valse papieren. Ik ben rustig. Ik ben rustig. De Boeing vlieg ik door de turbulentie in retrospectief naar de man die mij terloops en onbedoeld verwekte. Ik neem een gijzelaar, introduceer hem bij aankomst, zeg deze man doet me aan jou denken. Ik wil hem niet, we moeten praten, het is tragisch dat ik hem zal dragen. En ik zal hem dragen als een berenvel. Ik zal hem dragen als een mantel. Zijn huid ruikt naar woestijnhitte, fenugreek en open wonden. Mijn moeder breng ik terug naar het barre land, omdat ik van haar houd. Vanwege mijn moeder geef ik iedereen die op mij lijkt terug aan de aarde. Ik werp mijn mantel af, omdat ik van mijn moeder houd. Omdat ik van mijn moeder houd, bezweer ik de herhaling vanuit mijn afgeklemde eierstokken. Mijn afgeklemde eierstokken zijn schoon. Mijn afgeklemde eierstokken zijn schitterend. Mijn afgeklemde eierstokken zijn vervaardigd van reactieve metalen. Dan rust ik. Hier roest ik. Hier stopt het.
Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Thank you so much, Radna. Thank you so much. When I say naked word, you say poetry. Naked word. Poetry. Naked word. Poetry. All the way from the United States of America, please welcome Mackenzie Berry.
After the day my mother finds tied sheets, or after my brother says he has 2 sisters and his friends say, I'm sorry. My sister rappels down the 2nd story on bed sheets to find the boy in the fountain where she is safe. I imagine her a field of dandelions, the most common weed that spreads if you whisper loud. I imagine the boy a nice one. From the top bunk, I played the park swing date, where she always goes higher than him and he smiles. For breathlessness, they race to the fence, hands first, write dates and what's here on each other's shoes for safekeeping. I listen close through the bunk bed mattress, nights later, for her muffled sobs. I pray, please, 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 and learn that God is a bastard of no bargain. Still, I offer up all the things I have with a pulse. No, surely this must be sacred enough a trade. No, this architect's son is not a good one. Not from my sister who first held me and whispered my name from my soft ears. All the boys, I cursed them, never soft enough to admit it. that they cried, cried, cried into their pillows' wilted face. I must confess, I still believe in romance. She asked me why I write love poems, and I say because I want to document the world ending. Though I filled myself with honeybees until the rupture, I would do it all again so that my stomach drops the cliff. When finally our self-destruction takes the hill and we set oil to the water ablaze, I want to sit with you on the stoop swing, saying how the sunset dropped to the ground and somersaults even wilder than we thought. When the trumpets call for blood, I want you to tell me what you hear while I listen to your chest beat for the proof. While the last of the troops take the tanks against God, I want to debate, rolling in the grass, if the sky is more boundless than the whole of the earth ground that curves into new each day. Despite the wrecking, I want to have my math right so I can tell the angels just how many and just how tall. I found you. Don't you remember how quickly a woman loves a woman and then has to bury it alive?
Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Thank you so much, Mackenzie. Thank you so much. When I say naked word, you say poetry. Naked word. Poetry. Naked word. Poetry. I almost said something, but I was like, And when I'm flying this plane, it's full of poets and poems. And now we are in SA just to refuel, So please welcome to the stage, Sipho Ndebele. From now on, Sipho, when we go again to the Netherlands, the USA, make sure you welcome them properly. It's the last day of the festival. It's the last day for them on the stage. So let's give them a warm, warm welcome. So please welcome Sipho Ndebele.
Nasemlanjeni diakekeleza ndihamba ngamaqala ndiyaphuma ndinyange ndiyadidiyela ndingunonkala ngasemlanjeni ndiyakekeleza ndihamba ngamaqala ndiyakhula ndinyange
Is on sale and I'm always making a loss. Typically 15 minutes at a time, sometimes beneath bright lights and promises of a nice life. I've let prospectors harvest my mind, excavate the precious stones that hold these corners in place. The poets pick my pain apart in their minds. The philosophers want me to interpret the universe. They say I'm born of the stars, so I must be closer to God. That my gift is out of this world. It's high art. They forget that the cost of living is high. I cannot buy bread for a verse. Food for thought does not keep the stomach full, neither does a vote of thanks. I'm busy changing lives at my sanity's expense. I'm barely making sense. Lately my dreams are barely making sense. My peers' dreams have them riding around in mags, and I know better than to compare myself materially because we all on different paths, but people I went to school with are busy buying houses while I'm just trying to make rent. This isn't even really prose or a poem, it's a rant. I'm running on no joy lately. I'm struggling to love my love without pain. I'm struggling to smile without tears. And after all of these years, I'm forgetting what all of this means to me. It seems that I've auctioned off my dreams. Lately, I've been struggling to sleep. I've shaken the last few shards of my soul loose, assembled them into a work of art. So tell me, just how much do you think this piece is worth? You sit with phones held high, recording while I unpack my spirit. Lately, I feel like a collector's item, a Van Gogh of sorts, amputating pieces of myself just so that someone can see me. Perhaps I will smile better without my pride. So I roar on stages, then return to my cage. Lately, all of this feels like a circus. These pages are pallbearers. These poems are funeral processions. Audiences, undertakers. I've been erecting tombstones for the longest while. Honestly, it's exhausting. But lately I've been purging. I pray that all of this returns to worship someday. Just before I do the second poem, just want to give you guys a bit of context. So my name is Sipho Ndebele. I am Ndebele. Parents originally from Zim, but I was born and raised here. And essentially, that's what this poem is about to a large extent. So I hope someone can relate in the audience. Yeah. I have watched my mother's tongue grow blunt at the severing of the umbilical ties to her mother's tongues. 30 years ago, my mother's motherland lay dying, and so this land adopted her. And now my mother's Ndebele does not cut like it used to. My mother's tongue is a caving house, reinforced with both Xhosa and Zulu. My mother birthed me into Xhosa. I have worn this surname like irony, like slave master prayers, borderline blasphemous. I speak 3 languages, none of them my mother's tongue. I write my poetry in one. This is something I've grown to both love and loathe. This English is heavy in my throat. This English is the reason I'm both proud and ashamed whenever my elders say, "Son, you're well spoken." My grandmother hugs me best in the neck. All I have to offer her are these strange words. This English tastes funny in her mouth, but she never spits it out. This trans-Limpopo dialect of human has made it difficult for me to love my grandmother. I can only love my mother's mother in a language that is foreign to her. My mother and I have the same word for home. My mother and I call different places home. I have watched my father love my mother in a language that is foreign to his children. I have seen him love his own children in translations. He has worn this surname like fortress, like no matter what I blend into, I am still royal, like I will go down swinging. My father has raised kings and queens in a foreign land. My father's land is foreign to me. I do not recognize its tongues. Its tongues do not recognize me. I recognize this land's tongues, and its tongues recognize me. My English is sharp. I wield it wildly. My Xhosa and Zulu are brothers in arms. They fight me on the daily. They keep me up at night. I'm still trying to get them to play nice with my English. My Xhosa refuses to be called Venek. My Zulu calls my English colonialist. All 3 of these languages call me homeless. There is a Bantu war in my mouth. The story is told in English. I do not always know how I feel about this. I know that my mother's tongue is often persecuted, that it often cowers in the dark whenever its brothers come to visit, that it is often called foreigner. English drew the borders, and now my mother's mother and I are foreign to each other. She still smiles like my mother does. My mother, in all of her bluntness, is still home. My English, in all of its boldness, translates home for me. Ndebele is still the skin that I wear. I do not always know how I feel about this. I'm still learning what it means to be me.
Hello, Cape Town. Hi. Is it possible to get house lights so I can see how beautiful people are and shit? Give yourselves a round of applause. As they say these days, yes. Yes. All right, we are still in South Africa, still in Cape Town. Now the tourists are in a bus and they're driving through the streets of Nyanga East. And to welcome them with some warm poetry is Vuyokazi, Ngemntu.
Yes, Dr. Vu. Yes, yeah. Woman.
Thokoza Mhlopekazi and everyone else in the room. But I'm already ndibulisile. Township tour for Becky. In this quaint little beautiful gallery, perfectly lit with our fiery anger sits our poverty. Sketched in iniquity's durable white canvas in bold strokes, kwashiorkors, scabies, diabetes, tuberculosis, AIDS, and other shades of black's monochrome, all vivid and striking, like slave master's chain, like slave master's whip upon naked back of chained ancestor. Shocking red blood oozing rapidly like settler striking oil in Sudan. Make yourselves at home. Care for a cup of vintage 6th April 1652 entitlement while you browse through our sorrow? Why I insist. A pretty lady like you, skin fair as the trade we cry for, eyes blue as the oceans that swallowed the SS Mendi, do taste the malice. Our courtesies are brewing, masked by mascot smiles. Would Madam like a chocolatey adopted orphan to nibble on? We always feed our guests. It's our culture. Would you like the palatable part of that too? Why don't be so modest now? We prefer our women round and curvy, so eat up every morsel. An unfinished plate is an insult to the host. And we already have generational injury, thanks. Maybe a bit of salt to garnish the wound. Oh, but your voracity has an amazingly healthy appetite for one so skinny. Don't forget your glass of white tears to wash this continental meal down. Never mind the truth. It'll be too harsh and too hard to swallow. And you'll break your teeth like UN promises of aid, then ask to see the manager. But we all know that God is too busy to take complaints from this wretched place. But maybe he can let you skip the queue like they do everywhere else. So proceed this way when you're done, and careful not to hug the broken woman too tight and hurt yourself, fragile as you are. Excuse the blatant stares of the little girls. They just can't believe the doll they take turns playing with has come to life. So maybe they might want to touch your hair and check if it really feels like spun gold. Because we learn early here that not all that glitters is gold. Let them touch privilege just this once, then go back to make-believe with t-shirts cascading from their heads, flicked with a rickety elegance, magazine cut and paste style like Big Big Losisi and Ooh Ndimlo. They're naive enough to believe in shape-shifting still. Don't worry, they'll grow up soon. And besides, your tour's almost over. Tag me on the pictures, yeah? Remember, you're always welcome here. Have a good flight back home. And a good night's sleep once there. That was a greeting. Welcome to this township. They can beat us until the music hidden in our bones escapes through the tears in our flesh, and the freshly crimson christened soil amplifies our screams, magnifies our dreams, distorts our people's silence, and increases the urgency of the tempo of our cries for liberation until Amanda becomes the hit song played on repeat in the club of every unborn child's pulse, ready to dance, stomp their feet, jiggle their limbs and bop their heads to the rhythm of change. We'll be the bridge birth of a new age, and freedom will be our labor's wage. Our rage is armored by karma and detonated by ancestral trauma. Our wounds are a brilliant tangerine gangrene festering from within the thin skin of democracy, and it refuses to be covered in diplomacy, draped in black, gold, and green, and pacified by golden handshakes. For fuck's sakes, we're nothing like our leaders believe us. Instead, we are hardened infantile soldiers waging the wars our parents shied away from. We refuse to conform to the norm because home remains a nameless blob on the southern tip of a continent that has been looted and treated like a giant buffet table for the West and the rest to feast on, and now their quest for riches has them harvesting the best of our minds and imprisoning our young. We're high-strung and homesick for the Azania of Sobukwe's dream revolution, which we cannot see in the horizon, for it is clouded by Madiba's rainbow, and Mujaji refuses to cry, so she's left that to our mothers and fathers who scrub the kitchen floors and prune the gardens of homes we will never afford to buy them with or without the benefit of the lobotomy they call an education. We're tired, but we will only rest when tables turn, so let it burn. For we yearn for revolution, and the seed of Uhuru has been planted while we chanted Pambiri na Chimurenga, Pambiri na Chimurenga, Pambiri na Chimurenga, and channeled the Winner Sankara and traveled all the way to Lumumba, to Govera, to Kenyatta, to Baldwin, to Davis, to Morris, to Menge, to Matigizela, to Kamata knows who, because their education openly makes a mockery of our history and our identity. But in reality, we raise our battered fists towards the galaxies until the sun sees a reflection brighter than her shine in our grime and sweat glistened countenances as our nostrils flare to neutralize the tear gas in the air, the same way our parents found community here in these concentration camps that failed to kill their souls. The night is dark and young, but the light trapped in our souls will lead us home to a new day. This land shall learn to free us. This land shall learn to see us. This land shall learn to speak us. Not in English or Mandarin, but in clicks, phonetics, and hieroglyphs draped in melanin. This land shall learn to treat us like her own. Little boy. 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 Izwe lethu. Ndifungo bawo mama bo mama bo bawo mama bo mama bo bawo bo mama bo baba bo baba bo baba bo mama bo baba bo baba bo mama bo mama bo baba bo mama bo baba bo mama bethu izwe lethu lizobuya Azania elilizwe lokoko wethu lizobuya elilizwe lokoko wethu. Keep it going.
Can you say Thokoza Gogo? Everyone. In honor of Vuyokazi, say Thokoza Gogo. bayathokoza gogo, bayathokoza. Tanicamako. Bayacamakusha gogo. When I say naked word, you say poetry. Naked word? Poetry. Naked word? Poetry. This is called a mouth that bears many tongues. Sounds nice, many tongues. All right, we are going back to the Netherlands. Please welcome on stage Simone, Atangana. Go. Are you saying something there, Nikki? 2 seconds. When you go for 2 seconds. Eminwe. Let's go. Eminwe. I feel like this song was written for me. If you look at my fingers. Iminwana Pezulu. Nikki, are you ready? All right. Let's go. Iminwe. And then Upezulu, then I do not relate because I'm far from the sky. Iminwe. I don't know, where's the energy? Where are the things? Alright, already Nikki. Yes, I'm watching it. I just want to know why Alright, please welcome on stage Simone, Atangana, Bekono.
I'm from the Netherlands, as you might have heard, and I grew up surrounded by white people, but not because I was rich. Wie deed mij op jonge leeftijd zweten in het bed? Met visioenen van de psychiatrische afdeling. Meisjes die bezeten raakten van de man en de aanraking van de man en de aanraking van de vrouw, waardoor zij beseffen dat zij een man willen zijn. Ik vrees de man en wil hem opeten. Maar ik vrees ook dat hij mij opgegeten heeft. Dat ik ben geboren in de maag van de man of de ribbenkast of een teen. Maar dat het ontsnappen uit zijn lichaam mij mijn lichaam heeft doen verliezen. Ik wil de man opeten zoals ik Facebook eet en installatiekunst eet en jarenlang grote hoeveelheden licht dat op mijn gezicht scheen heb opgegeten. Ik hoopte de man op te kunnen eten, zo mijn zussen te beschermen, maar ik voel de resten van de man in mij knagen. Ze zijn op zoek naar een uitgang via mijn baarmoeder, mijn navel, mijn openstaande mond. Elke millimeter van mijn lichaam, van mijn denkend brein is opgesplitst in 2 kampen. Ik ben 1 snor haar, op de kin gevallen na een poging tot eenwording. En de poging tot eenwording heeft gefaald. Alleen mijn silhouet lijkt te kloppen. Ik zal wegspoelen in de doucheput of ik zal verkruimelen. Ik zal verdrinken of stikken in de wollen trui die uit wordt gedaan ter vergemakkelijking van copulatie. Intussen zoek ik naar elektriciteitsmasten waaraan ik mijn gekrompen lichaam uit laat hangen, oplaat, samen laat smelten. Want mijn lichaam is meerdere lichamen. Ik heb behoefte aan een staat van zijn die mij onnodig en almachtig maakt. Ik wil een gang bouwen die nergens naartoe leidt en er al mijn lichamen in opsluiten. Zodat zij zichzelf en elkaar geen kwaad zullen doen. Zodat zij als één aanwezig zullen zijn zonder context die dat moet bevestigen. Miljarden kankercellen die zich in mijn vader hebben gevestigd. In mijn moeder hebben gevestigd. Miljarden kankercellen die zich in mij hebben gevestigd. Het juiste moment afwachten, zwijgend in een wachtkamer. Al mijn gedichten zitten stil. Mijn gedichten zijn aan de bedrand afgesmeerd. Mijn gedichten zijn geen gedichten. Ik ben een plas bloed die door een kleed heen sijpelt en van systemen tekst probeert te maken. De systemen vroegen, wat kun jij doen nu jij dat weet? En ik was stil. Ik besloot op vakantie te gaan. Ik schreef een gedicht dat over mezelf ging. Ik schreef 5 versies van mezelf die mannelijk, gebroken, lichaamloos en in de war waren. Ik schreef mezelf in de hel van het kunstenaarschap en liet mij daarin wegrotten. Ik schreef mezelf compleet weg en kwam tot een hoop lege woorden. Dat elke herinnering valt of staat bij het moment van ontsteking. Dat context niet toegevoegd mag worden, maar vanzelf moet ontstaan. Dat ik mijn vaders urn in de stoppenkast heb gezet toen hij mij op de vingers tikte voor mijn onherleidbare motoriek en twijfelachtige borsten. Dat ik alleen besta in het verlengde van het brein van een blanke westerse man. Ik leen geld van een blanke westerse man. Ik koop toiletpapier voor een blanke westerse man. Ik ben een gedachte-experiment van de blanke westerse man. Want ik lig dronken op een vloer en hij vraagt wie ik ben. En ik ben in een mal gepropte versie van Kunta Kinte. Ik voel geen verbintenis met mijn gegeven naam. Ik lig dronken op een vloer en zie patronen in het plafond. De jongen naast mij is een kind. Dat ik kennis wil laten maken met mijn donkerste gedachten. Om hem kapot te maken. Om hem op te voeden. Ik ben het poppetje van een aapachtige jazzmuzikant. Ik ben Sylvana, Luigia, een enorme kont waar mensen geld voor betalen om naar te staren. Ik kan mezelf in honderden vormen presenteren. Ik ben een coole toevoeging. Een drumstel. Ik ben een godsdienstfanaat met gele oogballen en een kapot geschreeuwde mond. Ik ben een hofnar. Ik trek een jurk aan. Trek een huidkleurige jurk aan, ben 70 kilogram vlees zonder naam, taal of herkomst. Een nagelbijtende, in elkaar stortende, bloedende entiteit zonder concreet doel. All energy and no purpose. Ik heb wel een goed rapport. Goed gedaan, goed opgevoed. Ik ben een virus dat zichzelf opeet bij gebrek aan materie om zich mee te voeden. Ik ben de meest huidkleurige jurk die je aan kunt trekken. Een gewaagde keuze. En terwijl ik geolied op een hagelwit strand sta tussen die 100 versies van mijzelf, vraag ik: zijn wij al op vakantie? Ik krijg geen antwoord. This is my last poem. Gezang van het koor kleeft aan de voeten van de priester. Hij is koortsachtig aan het dansen. Het huis wikkelt zich om hem heen, zijn benen verkrampen. Alle andere hoofden in de ruimte zijn gebogen. Alle zwarte mensen identificeren zich met gebroken mensen. Alle zwarte mensen identificeren zich met verlaten mensen. Alle zwarte mensen zijn crimineel. Negeer de sneltrein in Hongkong richting Mongkok. De 2 mensen die je van de vonkende rails wegtrekken. De tramlijn die bergopwaarts gaat en takken opslokt. IJle lucht tussen Chinese bergen en vliegtuigvleugels. De reis tegen de rotatie van de aarde in. Negeer het dak van het gebouw dat naar je fluistert dat je dichter bij de rand moet gaan staan. De rand die fluistert dat je over die rand moet kijken. De straat die wenkt met 1000 polsen geplakt op autobumpers. Dunne vingers van licht die zich om je ribben krullen om je naar beneden te trekken. En een zacht gefluister. Alle mensen bestaan niet. Alle zwarte mensen identificeren zich met verlaten mensen en alle zwarte mensen bestaat niet. Negeer de enorme strakstaande blaren op je buik, achter in de auto, krijsend van de pijn op weg terug naar Nederland. Want onderweg zijn, je ziel verplaatsen, is accepteren dat je tijdelijk niet bestaat. En dus bestaat de pijn ook niet. Het lichaam zwelt langzaam op en wordt zwaarder. Vergeet de eerste keer dat je beseft dat je niet meer van de bank naar de wc kan lopen. De 10 verdwenen kilo's na een half jaar op bed. De Olympisch kampioen figuurschaatsen die over je beeldscherm zwabbert terwijl jij in een pool plast. Want elke vorm van zelfhaat is complex en individueel. Alle zwarte mensen bestaan niet. Alle zwarte mensen is een combinatie van woorden die bij je tanden begint en zich als rekbare latex langzaam over je lichaam trekt tot het ademloos en krakend op de grond ligt. Ontdaan van iedere vorm van menselijkheid. Het is een dunne laag, maar hij maakt mij onherkenbaar, onleefbaar, steeds boller en zwaarder, een voller emmer water in het midden van een zwembad. Dus vergeet heel 2005. Vergeet de auto's in Napels en de slagtanden van hun bestuurders. De Somalische tassenverkoper in Rome die verscheen en weer verdween. De muzikant in Montpellier die naar het geboortedorp van je vader leek te ruiken. De vrouw in de supermarkt die zich langs je moeders borst boog en hard in je wang kneep. Vergeet de druk van het aardse leven op je borstkas om 4 uur 's ochtends. Zwetend van een onherleidbare angst, terwijl minuten als spinnen over je lichaam kruipen. Alles wat de mensen is een vergane kunstvorm, waar slechts enkele naar terug verlangen. Een onoplosbaar conflict. Ik moet 3 uur lang in een rolstoel zitten en zelfs dat is vermoeiend. Alle zwarte mensen zitten op een bankje en dat is vermoeiend. Alle zwarte mensen kijken in bed naar de Oscars. Zwarte mensen zitten in de metro. Zwarte mensen maken hun lichamen kleiner met groot haar en kleine telefoons. En dat is vermoeiend. De stad vergt inspanning. Het dorp is een conflictgebied. De wijdse natuur een reflectie in mijn achteruitkijkspiegel. Zijn we al op vakantie, vroeg ik. Waarom heb je me geen antwoord gegeven? Alle zwarte mensen zitten aan zee op vakantie, hun kont in het zand. En zelfs dat is vermoedend. Dankjewel.
Keep it going. Baya danke, Simone. Baya danke. All right. Apologies for that. But I think that was the last poet. We need a translation. We really apologize for that. But I hope you got the feeling. I hope you got the feeling of the poem. When I say naked word, you say poetry. When I say naked word, you say poetry.
Poetry.
Hi guys. When I say naked word, you say poetry. Naked word.
Poetry.
My mind went away. It was in Netherlands. I'm back. All right. He was born in Jamaica.
Okay.
Based in the States.
All right.
Please put your hands together for Ishion, Hutchinson.
When I was about 7 years old, the devil tried to blind me with barbed wires. My mother called me from the yard. Running, I clashed with the wire. I wiped blood from my eyes. That was the first pit the devil dug before my feet, so I would not see the ill, the corruption, the filth, the lies, the hypocrisy, and the order of the day. Amid ice and granite, sea hush and crash, and the profit and the loss. The prophet Xerox in his tamarind shade, and wasp buzz and saw in the hills, crash leaves and virgin suicides right after the election, and November's Janus, and Pontius Pilate's maggot snipers, amen. And fortunately I forgot to be afraid, and kept my fear in the salt chiseling my face when I read Keats and loved the ash, and put 2 coins in my right palm amid the crashed crop, century of wheat, drought, rosary, terracotta, Kali, renaissance my nipples, torpedoed and rocked the strobe-lit stage show. The Gorgon's scintillated romance foiled the constable's peace, and Herodotus slept as the prophet rose to his chalice and put on his mongrel pelt, and it rained softly and blessed nothing scarce of breath, and grated nutmeg and the tyranny of sugar, and pure cream soda enclosed in cinders, shook, burst, fizzed, and I found my shape, shifted, ciphered, raw, my total reversal, my total reversal, my total reversal.
Keep it going. Thank you, Ishion. Thank you, Ishion Hutchinson. Do you know what my calling to you is? It's not, I will tell you, after 9 in the evening, if you're still here, drinking some wine, come and ask me what my calling to you is, I will tell you. All right, we are back in South Africa. I call her one of my mothers. Please, put your hands together and welcome Umama Khadija Heeger.
My tong is 'n begrafnis vandag. Ek het gewonne hoe ek voel oor al die goed wat aangaan. En as baie min woorde in my mond vir sulke goed. Om net te sê die plek waar ek moet sit en waar ek wil wees is eintlik met my knieë in die sand langs aan die grafstene van die dooies. Corrective rape, statutory rape, gang rape, acquaintance rape, partner rape, aggravated rape, hate crimes rape, violence against infants and children, incest, violence against men, prison rape. Women's groups reports say a rape occurs in South Africa every 26 seconds. A police report says a rape occurs every 36 seconds. Things you can do in 10 seconds and under. It takes 10 seconds to peel a clove of garlic, 10 seconds to fold a shirt if you're in a hurry, 10 seconds to tie your shoelace, 10 seconds to de-seed a pomegranate, 10 seconds to pick a lock, 10 seconds to open a bottle of wine if you know how, 10 seconds to fill an average glass of water, 10 seconds to write a short grocery list, 10 seconds to inhale, pranayama style. It takes less than 10 seconds to say it's wrong to hit your sister, 3.92 to be exact. Less than 10 seconds to say being gay is not a choice, 1.60 seconds. How short her skirt is isn't a problem, 1.99 seconds. The fact that he is effeminate is no excuse, 2.29 seconds. It takes less than 10 seconds to say no. Less than 10 seconds to say, please let go. Less than 10 seconds to listen. Less than 10 seconds to let go. Less than 10 seconds to change your mind. Less than 10 seconds to make a difference. Less than 10 seconds to alter someone's life irreparably. At 10 months, a toddler begins to test boundaries. If your child is 20 years old, your 10 seconds started 19 years and 2 months ago. 10 years old, 9 years and 2 months ago. If you are 7 months pregnant, age 32, your 10 seconds should have started 31 years and 2 months ago. If you are 7 months pregnant, your child's 10 seconds starts in 12 months. Wow. Set a reminder for life. It takes more than 10 seconds to read this poem. Less than 10 seconds to decide you're part of the solution. Most of the things we think we can't endure only last a few seconds. Rape and incest isn't one of them. Better now. So this stuff that we have been experiencing at such elevated and sharp levels for the past few days, it's been going on for a long time. It started as far back as the Station Strangler in the 80s, when a whole lot of bodies of young boys were found, little boys. And in our zeal to shout about the rape of women, we must really not forget that boys have also been raped. They happen to have penises, you know. There are a lot of sisters that I have that are born into male bodies. And so when we talk about women's rights and sisterhood and all of that, be very clear that you include that. Okay. But this rape stuff, it started way back, centuries ago. Those who have gone before us, rise up and call their names. Those who have gone before us, rise up and call their names. Those who have gone before us, rise up and call their names. Rise up and call their names. Rise up and call their names. Wie se kind is ek? Die ek soek die begrawe plek van my wortels, lank vergiet en verdriet. Vertel my die storie, grootmoeder. Ek wil nie kleivoet toe jou graf loopie. Ek krap aan ou wonde in die spieël van leuns. Gedaantes verklee en onklee tot daar waar sand en land en strand jou uitgespoeg het. Die maasap nog duidelik om jou lyfie. Kindjie van die Khorrenykona. Ons rolspeer hier in tale wat leens vertel ons kom vandaan saad. Kokokwa en Khorrenykona roep hul kind. Sy kruis heen en weer en heen. Vervel van plek na plek. O, Kretua, my ma se kind, jou bene roep so knaand in die suidooswind, kommandant se vleisprys gekluis in kasteel kombuis, uit die vlakte spier van jagteversamelaars, jou stam vermom in die rivier se klere, onderlaas jy verwyder en verneder, tussen duivels dans jou hart, nog seerder. I could write this in English, but my mouth won't spell such a tale in that rule of grammar. My tongue is unreliable in that Germanic Anglo-Frisian dialect. These masters who believe their stories are not born out of pigeons and creoles. Afrikaans sings closer to my lady, mother's tongue. En nou hakkelos in bloed, die rym van valse identiteit en populair geskiedenis. Skielik staan ons almal hier by die bloedrivier. Eis ons die bloedbad met beduiwelde togge, aasvolse belange op die hart. Wie is meer kooi as wie? Dat ons mis, van gister het ons mos misgis. Vertel die storie, grootmoeder, van die memories waar ons nooit was nie. Wys vir ons die voete van ons voete, daar waar die misspook haar kake, been en asem, ritme, tuimel, gruis met woorde oor die oorgees landscape. Hoe prikkel my kopvel nou? Vleistetjies val en oorholte af. Wemelspraak, antidote vir self-haat. O, Kretua, my ma se kind, jou bene roep so knaand in die suidooswind, kommandant se vleisprys gekluis in kasteel kombuis, en die vlakte spier van jagteversamelaars, jou stam vermom in die rivier se klere, onderlaas jy verwyder en verneder, tussen duivels dans jou hart, nog seerder. Vleistetjies, grootmoeder, vleistetjies troep soet van die verloop van bloed. En die kouse draai, waar die wind so waai, waar die doring en fynbos, die wyntros sans ons drome paai. Uit Krotoa, Oshimato, Lydia, Masavana, Anna, Mojaji, selfs van Ribik die Vint, en Nomkonwana se dop. Jy het hierdie vaart van verskil, as ons almal maar net die kinders van gemengde bloed. We are all just the children of mixed blood.
We welcome those who've just joined us. Welcome. We welcome you. We welcome you. You missed Minyo and Apizo. You missed it. You were going crazy on stage. Tell them ask them to tell you after the show. You missed out. There was a Minyo moment that happened here. We welcome you. Thank you for coming. Jason, when you're in the audience, I can tell like, yay! Cool. That's how you respond to poetry. You let it go. Yeah, you do the things. I used to.
For the cook. For the cook.
Cook beans.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, not the kur.
Kur.
Yes.
Let's all say for the kur. For the kur. Aye, not everyone is saying. For the kur. Yes, yes, a round of applause for Mama Khadija. Are you ready for some more poetry? Now, oh, all right. All right. Now we're going back to the United States of America. Please welcome on stage Morgan Parker.
Thanks. Like, I need no introduction except for the fact that like you have to lower this to a child size. Here I am. Hi. I just want to say, first of all, thanks to y'all, the audience, but also the other readers. It's like an honor to be here. I mean, I'm gonna need like some translations later because I'm from like the most like overconfident, undereducated country ever. But everyone has been really beautiful, and I'm just gonna be awkward. So thank you so much for having me. And they told me 2 poems, but I'm gonna read 3 because the flight was 22 hours, and I don't know when I'll be back. I'm just gonna put it all in right now. I'll just get started. Thanks again for having me. All they want is my money, my pussy, my blood.
Yes, honey. Pussy.
I am free with the following conditions. Give it up. Gimme. Okay, so I'm black in America, right? And I walk into a bar. I drink a lot of wine and kiss a black man on his beard. I do whatever I want because I could die any minute. I don't mean YOLO, I mean they are hunting me. I know my pussy is real good because they said so. I say to my friend, I am broke as a joke. I am starving like Marvin Gaye. I'm so hungry, I could get it on. There's far too many of me dying. The present is not so different. Everybody looks like everybody I worked with. Everybody looks like everybody I kissed. Men champion men and animals. Everybody thinks I'm gonna die. At the museum, I tell the school group about black art. I tell them the word contemporary. I have a nose ring I forget about. I have a brother, and he is also black. I'm a little modern to a fault. I say, this painting is contemporary, like you and me.
Oh, shit.
They ask me about slavery. They say Martin Luther King. At school, they learn that black people happened. The present is not so different. I'm looking into their black faces. They do not understand that they exist. I'm black in America, and I walk into a bar and drink a lot of wine, kiss a white man on his beard. There is no indictment. I could die any minute of depression. I just want to have sex most of the time. I just want my student loans to disappear. I just want to understand my savings account. What is happening to my $5 1 cent? That's not a lot, P.S. Like, I think you guys know that, but that's not a heck of a lot of savings. I am free with the following conditions. What is happening to my brother? What if I do something wrong? My blood is so hot and wet right now. I know they want it. I do everything right just in case. I don't want to give my money, but here I am. It's so stupid I have to say, here I am. I don't know, y'all. I live in a country where I have to say that literally I matter. It matters that I'm alive. They like to be on top. I am being set up. I am a tree, and some fruits are good and some are bad. Thank you, and thanks for putting up with my voice, which I was like, this is end of literary festival voice. It happens at every literary festival. And I just try to pass it off as sexy raspy. But I know that that's not what's happening. So, anyway, this one's for my new Dutch cousins. Oh, yes. Please refer to behind me. The most fucking glamorous image I've ever seen in my life. Yes. So, Magical Negro number 217. Diana Ross finishing a rib in Alabama, 1990s. Since I thought I'd be dead by now, everything I do is fucking perfect. Walking wreck, reckless. And man, I suck their bones until they're perfect. I don't sleep with accolades. I don't get touched in the night. All men do is cry and ask me to be their mama. I can't get a decent fuck to save my... When I think about their feelings, I don't care. It's cool, come to mama. There is so much death here. She is casual and almost fragrant, the word kill doesn't sound as bad as it is. All my friends are sisters and husbands. I'm afraid to be uncharted. I want an empire in my teeth. But I can't be bothered to wear anything but silk. I have grown up less mysterious than my myth. All men do is think I'm looking at them. When I think about them tasting me, don't Google my tits when you can just... Unfortunately, I have a body and I'm the only one in charge of it. Yes. You know what? I eat the bones too. I'm in the world. Nobody cares where I came from.
Wow.
Thank you. It means a lot to have y'all as readers and listeners. I feel like just the most American person, and that hyphen in African American is it's a rough thing to wrestle with. So thanks for being my friend, even though you have literally no reason to be. But they did that to us. Speaking of whites, speaking of white people. So this will be my last poem, and I'm not sorry. This poem's called Now More Than Ever. This is a phrase used by whites to express their surprise and disapproval of social or political conditions which to the Negro are devastatingly usual. I should point out, replace white with men, and it still flies. I've been here this week, and I've been alive, so. Often accompanied by an unsolicited touch on the forearm or shoulder. This is a phrase that's a favorite amongst the most politically liberal but socially comfortable of whites. Its origins and implications are necessarily vague and undefined. In other words, the source moment of separation between now and ever must never be specified. In some cases, it is also accompanied by a solicitation for unpaid labor from the Negro, often in the form of time, art, or an intimate and lengthy explanation of the Negro's life experiences, likely not dissimilar to a narrative the Negro has relayed before to dead ears. Otherwise, in response to the circumstances occurring now as ever, but suddenly and inexplicably more than ever, this is an utterance to be met with a solemn nod of the head. And eventually, and most importantly, absolution. which all good whites are convinced they deserve. When a time or era achieves more than ever status, many Negroes will assume duties kindred to those of priesthood, e.g., receiving confessions, distributing mercy, etc. Although, as noted above, the precise connotation of this phrase is quite obscured in its usage, it seems to be uttered in moments of aha, or more bluntly, I straight up did not believe you before. Wherein before equals ever. See also Negro lexicon entries number 42 and number 43, same shit, different day, and same-o, same-o. Subtext then underscoring this phrase are quite sinister in nature, varying from your usefulness, Negro, is married to your misfortune, and time is linear. The implications of which are that 1, value is time sensitive, 2, conditions of despair are temporary, and 3, anything at all can be new, belonging exclusively to now and untethered to ever, i.e. past, future, world history. These understandings of time versus import are likely due to the fact that any spur to action or empathy for the white is often directly correlated to any present dangers facing their individual freedoms, or even simply when one feels like it. See also case study number 5, empathy. This reveals in whites a compulsion to reformation based upon desire, excitement, guilt, or otherwise self-indulgent emotions, whereas it would appear that the Negro must live the life of the Negro ever, now, and ever, 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 and ever. And ever, 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 and ever. Y'all don't hear me though, and ever, 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 and ever. And ever, 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 and ever. I'm just gonna keep going till you understand. And ever, 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 and ever.
Keep it going.
A round of applause for Morgan Park. A round of applause for Morgan Park. Nice. All right. Are you ready for some more poetry? Yeah. When I say naked word, you say poetry. Naked word. Naked word. All right. And the next guy to bless the stage, his name is Naked Soul. Please welcome Thapelo Tharaga.
If he asks for my name, tell him I am time, the greatest storyteller who ever lived. Tell him I'm a descendant of travelers who used their skins to navigate through Jerusalem. Tell him of how it's in your lips that I get to find my way back home. Do tell him of my magic that holds small fragile hearts with my foot. Tell him about my eyes that kneel on a haystack of needles in search of my miscarried son. Tell him I'm still gathering songs For one day I will send them back to his direction. And if they ask for my name, tell them I am a broken man. Still, in the sea, looking for my lost ring.
Sayona sisitelele sinele batho ba binang dipina ka tsela ya difela mo tholang hore maikutlo a wetshola a ipata ka tlase ha dithulo tsa mapolanka. Jesu le botumedi ke ntho tse leng hole le hole, seka morogo le dipompong, seka modimo le Satane. Modipo o ne wa nambatela mipfumo ya buti isa fesesei, mato ashu agana mapasi, bukati hasichakati na lipasi likhakhariswa nga mbiru ndavu osipara atiwoni sitofana na chiwoni, osipara atiwoni sitofana na chiwoni, ubudzisa ngakhozi sitofana na ubulunga mbilu zashu bukati hamipa zviavava miviri ndi miseke mashango ndi dzikomelero zvineva dziva bima bukati havatu varerera pfunzo dzine dzafusha zvikwama zva mita yavo rine sadzingu ritodhodhera ratevera murau hamulisa washu pedzi matochedzo hadzifurisi thumbu dzavashengerawo ngali dzavo mutundupuwo vari kandiondo vaduhwana pedzi nguva ichipira mwedzi linyenda usiku mapene odzitsa vana pedzi mahambe aita vanna vaulwane vahambe ngazveva ita mulova osvipara achivoni zvitofana nachivoni osvipara achivoni zvitofana nachivoni osvipara achivoni zvitofana nachivoni kenahe kemili haluna kemikokoveto kenahela imba halitfaveli rata dibuo utava vangari ubona kuwa mbili ahamisi mbahulifii hawaibona
in this here place. All lives matter because they have exhausted the race card. They now play perpetrators and victims' skins in this here place. We are nothing but silhouettes of moving targets. Bullets have become souvenirs for bodies of my kind. History has been shackled on our feet. Tired as we are, we come to rest here. Under coconut trees, I too want a sip of that white privilege. I had a taste of land and wealth in this here place. Chimneys are the only ones that know the history of smoke. So tear gas is a foreign entity into our land. Do not let them fool you. You are one with the stars. Unfortunately, their skin glows under fluorescent lights, but not all whites are racist. Yeah, and not all snakes are poisonous, but they all hiss and rattle at the same time. But in this here place, we always placed in the center. We only safe within our mother's placentas. Our pride has to illuminate brightly like magenta, but in this here place, we gave up our guns in exchange for poems. But these poems were not meant to decorate dining room walls. These poems were meant for war, and I've been black for far too long. My skin oozes of redemption songs. My spirit has learned the art of contortion. My body has let go of ghosts. I am boneless in this here place. My child, you and silence are one. So be in unison with your kind. The melanin in your skin is made of solar panels. So to harvest the sun, my child, let go of your follicles. Do excel greatness with time. It's time. In this here place, a revolution has begun.
Because of time, go forever. It's time, and I'm calm. 2 obstacles, time, and all right, let's keep it going. Please welcome to the stage one of our own, the tallest guy on stage, Anele, Kose.
Undinikile indlebe yokumamela. Wandinikile iso lokujonga enkalweni nengcinga zokuziphosta emaweni ndishiye zibhlungu emhlabeni. Simanga senhlupheko undivimbile inkcubeko nentobeko. Uzile nenguquko zempucuko ezibhetele zenza umuntu omnyama wazalelwe esibhedlele wayeka ukukhamanzi ngeemele. Nangona sekhona inkedama esela amanzi edama nenhliziyo ezinesinqala. Zinhlungu bayagcuma imisindo bayagquma. Simanga senhlupheko undikhunile umphefumulo. Wawundandathekisa wandethekisa wandenza inhlekisa ngentshaba wandileqisa. Uwabhuqile amaqobhoka wagqebha amaqaba wazithonga izicwinana wabulala izigwili kwashiyeka izijwili. Simanga senhlupheko undivimbile inkcubeko nentobeko. Uchuchisa ngendlala ubuyisela kwindebe endala yokuphalala. Ulifuthe lencwaba ilibasa inkuni zegoqo libulale ngaphandle kwebhoso. Rhexe likamtyholi phuphala amagqwirha athotsile egcinezelo silonda sembandezelo. Uwenzile umonakalo ngeyakho inkohlakalo kwinkalo ngeenkalo. Uthokombile kokwala ufihla ubunxwane uveza uburharha. Uwadlwengula amabhinqa amadoda azizigaba
isigwinta alala nonondindo asayiphika inhloko kayitsa uyingubo engqumbo ekhupha imivumbo esitofa amavalo kuphuma izigalo kuqala imbambano simanga senhlupheko ndivimbile inkqubeko nentobeko usisigwebe esinyasha ingemo sindichitha amalungelo sindiqala intetho ezidithoko umxhelo unikisa izaci ezithi themba mqala uzawuginya phansi kobunzima kade inhlutha nguvimbo nikisa idima ulikamva lesono elifihla imibono kuphele nokholo njengomileyo umthombo utsweba insana ufutsha amakhosikazi udala amantokazi uvimba ulwazi de kuphala ligazi undinxibisa inzondo kuphela ubuhlobo ndibe kwizityholo zibe luthotho ndingawuvanga nomxholo simanga senhlupheko undivimbile inkcubeko nentobeko undiwezile intambo nemilambo wayeguqula imintando de ndafuna ukuzixhoma ngentambo ugxotha abatshakazi ushiya abayeni bezikhanda ngenyekeltyeni zizililo nentwabulo komamazala bayitshayisa qhumo tatazala bekhangela itorho lokondla indlezana uzifakile inzipho kwaphuma izifo yaphela ingqiqo wena ngundikoqutha izipho ezisuka kuthixo mlondo ocula ingoma zothando kodwa ubulala usapho uthembisa ngeparadesi engenavangeli ngaphandle kwehadesi simanga senhlupheko undivimbile inkcubeko nentobeko uyichithile imizi washiya intsizi zadudulana intlanga qhekeka amabandla de kwadaleka umsantsa zinquthelo namaqhwa izithende zaxobuka njengenyoka ndobuza ndincame ndahlutha ngenxa yokunyoluka kumu nomdintsi mlingo ehlafuna intsimbi udlakaza isibindi ubulala isininzi undinyelisile ngesesigqezi sibavu ungashe kamtyholi utiwaqxotho emazulwini phezulu emajukujukwini wehla wezezantsi ebantwini wafika waqugqisa ngobungenalisini uyitshisile kagcaleka imfuyo watshisa ifatyi nezibeko zamaxongo neemeko kwenqaba nengqesho sakhala ngendleko saphela isidima nembeko uyingwe emnyama esikeleleke ngaphandle kwamathamsanqa ithi khukhuzile intlantlatha yichithizile simanga senhlupheko inkcubeko nentobeko.
Round of applause for Anele Kose, round of applause. Anele reminds me every day that I need to grow in life. All right, before more people start walking out. Wow. Frankie, Frankana.
Yes.
Frankie. We will do the things.
Yes.
Remember when I was telling you about Iminwana, this is what happened. Iminwana, I like that she has said with me. Alright, that's what happened. The song was written for me because I have small fingers. Minwana, yeah. Tharaga. You and I. Yes. I've got my fingers crossed. Are you here, Frankie? Come. So this is Frankie Mari's last open book festival. Yes. So let's all Frankie, you are dope. Yo, Frankie, you are dope. I need a beat right now. Frankie, you are dope. 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 Yo, Frankie, 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 you are dope. Frankie, you are dope. Frankie, you are dope. Frankie, you are dope. Going, let's please welcome on stage Mthutuzeli plays the poet Zimba.
special someone? What if I told you that I've been searching for you in places further than my dreams? In spaces between my fingers, in the dark, in the place, calm place of hiding, only to find you in the cringe, in the weird, discomforting edges of laughter. I've made meaning of your name from the void of longing, held and embraced your touch from remembering. What if I told you that you are no surprise? You are an aura of departing things, fading footprints of a man leaving home. You are a sounding of an open grave, a shovel yearning to dig. But what if I told you that I was completely different to what you thought I was? That my breath is smoke, that my lungs are a cold stove burning my inside, that my black skin is an aftermath to a story untold, that my tongue is an Elysium, that it has buried gods in its speech, that my body is a dancing shore, while my bones are a sailing ship in the world of the unknown. What if I told you, dear special someone, that underneath my skin, in this facade called life, my body is sinking in quicksand, and since half of my body is believed to be water, I am probably drowning in my belly, and that my lungs are hungered for air. What if I told you, dear special someone, that even my mother is an abandoned land, that she homes foreign things like archaic statues of an absent father, a road sign that has abandoned my memory lane. It is of genetic footprint that my shaded skin is made out of her grains. Her winter palms are a blanket of sand, an inevitable reality why I am a grounded man. Gravity has held my shadow hostage, but my breath defies the odds. What if I told you, dear special someone, that even mountains are nothing but statues of frozen gods, that a thunderstorm is a historical moment in time when God coughs, when a human heart is a tourist attraction to serial killers called diseases, while the earth and its galaxy is nothing but a rebellious war zone, that even stars shoot for their own survival. What if I told you, dear special someone, that you and I could never be? Yesterday, I held a matchbox in my hand. It reminded me of home, of how little it is, but the souls it carried inside had the fire that would burn the entire village. The alignment of these matchsticks reminded me of how we would tightly pack ourselves to sleep, like packs of sticks aligned like silver stripes mapped on my mother's back on a cold kitchen floor that randomly turned into a flooded swimming pool in rainy days. A matchbox reminded my tongue of the courage it took to find warmth in itself and what it meant to sleep with both eyes open, shivering, palms shaking, shivering, palms shaking. A matchbox reminded me of the tremors that would often hit home when Daddy arrived in the morning, mumbling in song like birds that flirt with the sun rays in the absence of wind. I am told not everything that grows underneath the earth will turn green. Some homes are ships sailing on mud, hence life is slippery. I've seen many trip to fall, like the stars and the rain that abandons the sky and search for land. A matchbox reminded me of the significance of living within self, because the death we often mourn has taught us, like matchsticks, often our leaving is never to return. Goodbyes are a broken promise to a tomorrow that is unknown. A matchbox reminded me of the lion that I am. In a jungle my body is caged, reminded me that I roam, reminded me that I may sound shaky at times, but there's something filling and the void that lives inside me. A matchbox reminded me that there is something burning out there, in a world not so far from an arm's reach. A day is often lost and later found in my neighbor's grocery bag. Rumor has it, history is in smoke. Today is a story told in parables. Ashes to ashes, dust to a land stolen. There is a winter storm that passes once in a blue moon. Matchbox reminded me of the night before, the push and pull, the edge in our hunger, the desire, the nothingness, the in our silence, to look no further than what's in the mirror. A matchbox reminded me of home.
Round of applause, enkosi Mthutuzeli. Enkosi Mthutuzeli. So I'm gonna do a poem now. It's my time now. So this one is a backup poem, in case I forget this one. May the gods of poetry be with me. Mbali lento ilulwimi lwenkobe liyeza elinyanga liphilise abo bazicandela amanxiwa sentshole ezingqondweni zabo. Njengamboni hamba ningovukazi engenakuyibiza ngegama, ndivumele ndikungcazele ngale ngcaciso ndenjenje. Cula uthetha yombela ngemibongo, senze isixhentsela izandi zamagama, sichasile sihlasile sityikile senze izangotshe zakube zafobe. Usisobele umfanekiso ngqondweni ngezifaniso ezikwekho nezifanekiso zwi, kubekho izwi lemimoya. Uthatha umoya, amanzi, inyembezi, ingqingqo, udidiyele izobo, siyeke sitsale phambi kokusincamlise. Utyatyadula ubhala umhowo wesizwe, umthandazo wemihla ngemihla. Wakukhamisa utyhala izitshilelo, ubhentsisa inyani, uvele ubuze, usivuze, usothuse, usikhuze, usiyeke sinxile, sele sibhukuqa, sibhonde sabhongo. Ngeyakho imibongo sifuthe, sisuse ishwangusha, hlambe kwabusa. Uzungavuyela unconya uliyeza, ungacwezeli phaya kwabakupindlele. Uncumo wakungconya kuthiwa imibongo yakhe icikiziwe umchili wamagama. Khumbula isidima sakho sisezandleni zabo bakumamelayo, siyeke sikuthwese sona xa uqabela eqongeni. Sigquma umhlana xa kukubi, thina sizizithunya eziphila emhlabeni. Inyama nomoya ziyacikidwa, camalala wakudinwa, ucamce wakho ubomi, uphinde uvuke, uphile, ukwenzela nathi sizophila. You know what happened? Like I had my daughter going, you better get this poem right. Like I had us like, Tata, alright, now I'm done. The last poet for the night is my brother, my bae. Oz is my muse. He's the co-founder of Lingua Franca Spoken Word. He's my everything. He's my heart. Please welcome to the stage Lwanda Mackenzie Sindaphi.
I'm going to read, and Peter, I'm going to read.
Tina Sizwe.
Uphila nomoya obunayo kodwa usenza intaba ziqhekeke luncumo nokuba sinambesa ngeziqhushumbisi bemtyabeka ngemfazwe bethumbisa isisu sakhe ngendlala uhlale jika uqhushululu lube luxolo inkaba yakhe inkcubeko ijika ziyatha sibe ngamagorha izifundisa ukuthozama ukuthobeka isiguqisa ngamadolo nokuba simi ngenyawo isibuyisela ekhaya nokuba siziva siyimigqakwe xa siziva singamakheswa uNandi unozala wenkosi uShaka wanibonisa uhlabathi ukuba nezibeleko ezigxikiweyo ziyakwazi ukuzala amagorha umoya kaMakhanda unxele wasibonisa ukuba lisuluphethe ulwandle watshona kade zangafunyane wafunyane ephelele ezihlwele engenazivubeko nomgquba wayeka nokuba nevumba lomthonyama undlala ethekise ngezono nogqwalisa ngobubi nenza inhlekisa ilifa lokhokho benu xa kunamhla niyabhadula nifuduswa kosobumnyama isithokotoko utye ukraka umqa oweza labanwele ezibule mbombona balithembisa ngenkcubeko engenabutho ngesaquphe zamfabeka izizwe zomgquba zahlamba imbola zathambisa ioli zathi xibili lamagadi inkosi rhutyulula izombatho zolwandle nqwadalala kwamarhonya obunewunewu nqwadalala kwamarhonya obunewunyewu naxhophaxhophoza imbono zephakathi kangqika ngenxa yokunyoluka kwesisu nanyemba iziprofeto zikanontetha ngowethu umhlaba nawethu amanzi ingoma nemixhenzo kamujaji sibizela imvula sihamba namawe esifubeni amawe siyakwazi uwaphalaza siyaqhuma imisindo ezuswini ingqumbe siyakwazi ukuyithomalalisa siyaba nezivubeko emiphefumulweni ubuso bethu imfuziselo yenhlungu inhlungu siyakwazi ukuyibaleka umhlaba uyagula intyatyambo nemifuno zomile sidlungulwa imbalela imbali zele izilonda kwaye indlebe ezikhanyela ngasokuze bazithathe zizincuncuthekisa imihla nezolo abehla umthobo sikhalela impilo komakhulu bethu kodwa umhlaba usaxakekile baqanga iminyanya iphela baphila ingcambu sidinga ukuhlangulwa kodwa kome imiqala khangela ingcambu endumbeni zomakhulu bethu zibilise kusonyangeka imiqala akho indlela ngaphandle kwalo yethu indlela masinyako ngengcambu siphiliswe sidinga impilo komakhulu bethu amaxhego amaxhaphetshi azixhamla kwelikanqilo ilanga anyuka intaba ebasingedama phansi komntu onquma nifulathele nguqamata izicelo zenu ziyaliyoloza indlebe zingangamsha liphi igqirha lemvula liqamagushe liphelelwe zingcambu niphikwa nakumhlaba inhliziyo zibanga amavezandlebe kubuhle behlabathi isizathu sokuba imvula bengumgqakwe kulomhlaba niphile qethe ngokwasenyameni kodwa ninilwelo ngokwasemoyeni niyagula nomhlaba uyagula niphutha amayeza ematyeni masithethelele amanina imigodi yadilika zintombi zakwantu qhelwani ingwevukazi nazo zijonisa imibongo kantsonganyawana zicengeni siphi impilo zomoya izikhisa uqaqayo kuzoduka ubumdaka zihlambe ngentelezo kunyamalala isichitho zisincithekise ngenqobeko ngoba sikwazi kuye elwandle xebe emzilo omkhulu abanywele zibolo mukombona balithimba siphila lesivakalala masinxikiswe inyoko zempahla emfutshane esifubeni ukuze sisikhumbule ihlwele sikhe amanzi emlanjeni sibethe isilawu sinyuke isilawu sisenze isilawu sisele sibhodle ngohlakalo sichithwa iziyaqa kwinkomo zomgquba siphahle senze impahla senze utshaba luphathwe idudu ngorhogo lemvula lempepho uqhume urhanya sifutha ngamathuba enyoka kogquba ubugqirha siqisa imbombo zemizi ngamafele enyoka qhumisane ezidumbeni nibiza imilozi zibazeni kuthiwa nentungu yekani kuba magogotya amagqirha kulutyalo chitha ibhunga ngoba siyabhungwa emabhungeni kubhungwa komgquba umsima usikhumbuza ukuba impilo yethu isisiziba somlambo ixhathi elizulu lethu apho sifumana khona ukuphumla siqenga imimoya ebengamehlo enyawo zethu apho sinyathela khona umgquba mawuphakama ujukuze sinike imimoya inkoduso ukuze ithobe unxani uxhelo zesitye sombele zesiphile imikhonto yenza imimangaliso ngedini inkomo zibhobhe zibonakaliso kwamkela kwethu Afrika nozala wenza ubunye ngobuninzi inhlanga zifumana ikhaya kwingcambu kwingceba zomphefumulo wakhe lo moya uyaligodusa unibuyisela embo buyisela intombi nonyala komgquba kude ekhaya ngibona into yokuxutywa kwele khaya ngamazo omphefumulisa isiqalekiso lo mhlaba soze ukuba nokuphumla qhawulanye amatyathanga komhlaba hlambani isibeleko esikhulayo esingamamo Afrika khumulani wacacisa zonke izizwe zomhlaba kuzinyana kuzilanga kuzinkwenkwezi kuzihlabathi jikelele kuzintaka kuzizilo kuzamatye kuzimilambo ngamangqina akhe amatye nemigodi yabantu abanganyelweni ilanga kwintlalo yaseSahara baphethe amandla ukuba imiphefumulo yamaquthe bahlala bekhobokisa imizimba ngamayeza begqobhoza isifuba somhlaba ngomxhenzo abantwana bomgquba ke abo ngoba uphe emhlabeni uyele ekhaya uyele Afrika uyele ekhaya
Lwanda Sindaphi. Okay, we are going to close with one more song. One more song, eh? One. Is that fine at the back? One. We're not going to make it long, brief. We want people to stand up and dance and shake off the poetry. Right? Shake off the poetry and the dust. All right, are you guys ready? Thank you so much, Open Book Festival, your funders, your sponsors. Let us all put our hands together for Radna, Fabias, Mackenzie, Sipho, Ndebele, Vuyokazi, Ngemntu, Simone, Bekono, Ishion, Khadija, Heeger, Thapelo, Tharaga, Anele, Kose, Thapelo, myself, Lwanda, Sindaphi, and leave your